Good evening, I'm Andrew Dowdy, and here's tonight's Sports Ticker brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Nebraska Beach Volleyball opens up the season on Friday morning against Wayne State. Pairings for the Huskers have been released. Becca Alec will play with Lexi Rodriguez. Allie Batenhorst paired with Bergen Riley. Lainey Chaboy will play alongside Lindsay Krause. You can see the full lineup now on Huskers.com. The match with Wayne State is scheduled for 8 a.m. inside the Hawks Championship Center. Action will be streamed live on the Huskers YouTube page. Nebraska men's basketball looks to stay hot and make it 4 straight wins in a row, hosting Minnesota inside PBA at 2:30 on Saturday. Fred Hoiberg talks about keeping his momentum leading into Minnesota's game on Saturday.
It's important for us to continue to go out, not get complacent. We've had some time. Blaze is still pretty sore, and not sure what we're going to have out of him. He'll certainly continue to get treatments around the clock, and we'll see how he feels on Saturday morning. But he has not done anything in practice the last couple days, and they pose some problems with bigger lineups. They'll play Battle at 3, they'll play Garcia at 4, and Payne at 5. So just have to go out there, whatever lineup is thrown at us, and continue to compete. And that's been the thing, and that I've been impressed with our group. It's been the message to this group to just continue to go out and do the things that have made us a solid basketball team these last couple weeks.
Big Ten men's hoop action with Penn State facing off against Ohio State with the score Ohio State 33, Penn State 29 with 4 minutes left in the first half. In other news, Michigan at Rutgers will tip off at 7:30. Number 21 Northwestern will tip off against Illinois, and that one is set for 8 p.m. On the women's side, Rutgers at number 12 Michigan is just underway. And the Huskers' Sunday opponent, Northwestern, is hosting Wisconsin, and they also just tipped off. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has emerged from his darkness retreat. And also, the last finishing news, we want to wish a happy 86th birthday to the greatest of all time, Tom Osborne. Our Sports Nightly Ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeliness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. That's the ticker. Now get ready for Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Crossover dribble on the take on the left hand to layup. Got it! Derek Walker!
Anderson hammers one to center. That's hit pretty well. Kern backing up. He's to the track. He's to the wall. And that ball is gone!
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Well, happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to the show. We've got a full 2 hours headed your way. I'm Jessica Coody. Greg Sharpe is on his way en route to Mobile, Alabama to call the Huskers matchup this weekend, 3-game series against South Alabama. So you just heard it. Andrew Dowdy, the people have been asking. You delivered the ticker, finally.
Finally, I did it. I tried my first day doing the ticker right when I got here in 2021. You want to tell them the story? Okay,
well, I asked him to do it. He came in fresh out of college, thought he was hot stuff, said he's going to do the ticker. I thought he was good to handle it. And then I come in here and read it, and it was like all of his teams. It was like about Duke and the Lakers and the Steelers. And I was like, no, this is horrible. This is bad. You're not doing this. And then he practiced it a bunch too. And then he's never tried it again. I think he got PTSD a little bit.
Oh, I did. I got stage fright after that. I was so ready. I was like, Jess is going to love that I'm taking this off her plate. I got it. I said, let's do it. And she said, no. And I remember specifically she got a pen and she X'd out stuff so hard that it left marks on the table for the next few weeks. I promise.
He tends to exaggerate, but no. So Andrew is hopping on tonight. This is his very last Sports Nightly. We've announced it, talked about it throughout this entire week, that he has taken a job. He's going to go work for the G League with the Bucks. And so this is his last ever Sports Nightly. He's been a big part of this show for the last over a year and a half, been producing. He's hopped on. You've heard his voice. He's produced a lot of our Husker sports broadcasts. So with Greg out, I was doing the show. I was like, hey, you're hopping on. We're putting you to work in your last Sports Nightly. So Cole's running the boards back there for us, so it should be a fun night. We have a big show coming up for you. We're going to talk all things Husker sports. It's a big weekend. We've talked a lot about it being crossover season, everything going on at once. So we're going to hear from all of the guys that are calling the action. Greg Sharpe going to make an appearance. You got Matt Coatney, Kent Pavelka, and Nate Rohr all going to be here to break down all of the weekend's matchups. And coming up here in this hour, we're going to hear from a couple of the ladies' sports that are in action this weekend. Sam Haiby celebrating Senior Day. She's been such a huge part of this program over the last 5 years for women's basketball program. So she's going to be in studio. And then Emma Spence, the all-star for Nebraska women's gymnastics, a member of Team Canada. She'll be in here as well. So again, a packed show. 402-413-2400 if you want to be a part of it. But listen, we got to start off the top. What a big win for the ladies. Husker women's basketball last night. You produced the show, the broadcast last night. What a big win. They came out and played how they needed to play in that game. And a top 25 opponent getting in the win column on the road, that was huge for this team. No, it was huge. And go to a hostile environment like Illinois. Usually the environment, from what Matt Coatney said, it hasn't been good throughout the past few years. But they said the game was rocking right at the beginning, and the ladies shut them down from the beginning of the game, and they didn't let their foot off at all. How about them having a promotion where if the opposing team misses 2 free throws, they get free chicken nuggets or something like that? I saw that. Yeah, we were talking in a few breaks about that. We were like, how does that work? How is it every game? And I guess the men's team also does it for Illinois. So I guess that's how you get loud, to try to make you miss free throws. So, yeah, and Jazz Shelley came out, scored 26. They were on fire. As bad as they shot it against Iowa, they got back to regular scheduled programming, how they shoot the ball normally. Last night, 60% from three, over 40%, or 60% from the field, 40% from three, and so shot it much better. Jazz Shelley, that's what she needs to do for this team to do something special here to close out the season. Again, Matt Coatney is going to be in to talk a little bit more about the matchup coming up and you know, what needs to happen for the Huskers to get into the postseason. He told me that he thinks that win last night for sure got them in the WNIT. Now, they still have a little bit of work to do to get back for sure to punch that ticket into the NCAA tournament, but at least that win last night for sure gets them into the postseason for sure, is what he was speculating. So we'll talk a little bit more women's hoops with Sam Haiby and then Matt Coatney. And you have been on a heck of a run to close out men's basketball. You are going out on a 3-game winning streak. 3-game winning streak. And that's what I told KP and Jake. I said, man, like, just me working in basketball really realized that I have such a passion for that sport, and that's why I'm so excited to be working for a G League team and an NBA team like the Bucks organization, and I'm so happy, and I think that's going to be a great thing for me. But no, it was a great ride that these guys are having, and they are keeping it going. They're keeping it going. Half the time, KP said he's either going to pass out or he's going to take out Jake's shoulder, and that's something that's just, these guys are so fun to work with. They are entertaining from the get-go, and they keep you entertained and informed from everything. It is so nice, and I've been loving the ride so far. The matchup, though, is a little interesting because, again, coming off such a huge win, overtime Maryland, and then now you're facing a team that's at the bottom of the Big Ten standings, has only won 1 conference game, and it's a completely different matchup because the Huskers went up there and had to give Minnesota everything they had to pull out a win in overtime, and they had Emmanuel Bandemill and Juwan Gary to win that game. So completely different, but cannot have a letdown following the big win over Maryland. No, and it's always so hard. There's teams where you think, oh, they're at the bottom of the league, we're going to blow them out. It's those teams that creep up on you. And with the development of Jamarcus Lawrence, Denham, and all the guys coming off the bench, this is a real team working. And ever since the injuries between Bandemill and Gary, this team does not give up, and they work their tails off. Sam Griesel, I mean, first off, the kid is an amazing kid off the field, off the court, on the court. He's amazing, and he has such a great leadership skills that he shows to the team, and he encourages his team, motivates his team. And man, can we talk about Keisei Tominaga? He is on a tear right now. The last Nebraska basketball player since Ty Lue to have 4+ games in the 20s. He's at 5. Five. It's like, that's the last one since Ty Lue. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's all been about confidence, because if you ask, Haiby talked to Derek Walker about it after the game, then Sam Hoiberg came in here and sat in that seat and said it's the toughest player he's ever had to guard in his entire life is Keisei Tominaga, because of all the things that he does off the ball to get open. But they are not surprised. This is what he does in practice. He just hasn't had the opportunity to get going and do it in a game until the injuries came and he had the opportunity. And Coach Hoiberg told him, hey, if we want to win, if we're going to win any games, you have to score. You have to score for us. And so I think it was him just kind of getting the opportunity and embracing it. He's really been able to get going. But as far as this team being surprised by it, and was this something that's completely out of character, they don't think it is at all. He might have burst onto the scene and surprised a lot of people that haven't paid much attention to Nebraska basketball, but he's been doing this in practice since he stepped on campus here in Lincoln. So I don't think this team's surprised. It's more so just he's taking advantage of an opportunity. So, all right, we got lots to get to. So we're going to work in our first break here on hour number 1 of Sports Nightly. But again, 402-413-2400 if you want to be a part of the show. The Sports Nightly hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Up next, we're going to talk a little Nebraska women's gymnastics with Emma Spence. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
You ain't seen nothing.
This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. Like the Ford F-150 or the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger pickups. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. Based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns-for-teachers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns-for-teachers.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Every day, Central Valley Ag helps ranchers give their herds the nutrition they need to deliver healthy calves. CVA's Power Cow tubs are fortified to provide complete nutrition while protecting your bottom line. With supplements like Biomoss, Hamafirm, or Avela-4. Learn more online at cvacoop.com. Register to win 2 3015 Power Cow tubs valued at over $300. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation. Visit us at the Nebraska Cattlemen's Classic.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
When you're a fan, you wear your team's jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. After a win, your world glistens. Lose, and the hurt permeates your soul. You'll always have a place with us in the Cox Fan Zone, where everyone can play and connect with other fans in a big group hug. See, in the Fan Zone, you're not some crazy fan. You're home.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe, voice of the Huskers. Say Fan Zone into your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit cox.com/fanzone. Go Huskers.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody, and Nebraska women's gymnastics back in action in Lincoln coming up this weekend. Also on Monday, hosting number 3 Michigan. Got Big Fives coming up on Friday and Saturday inside the Devaney Center. And here to chat a little bit with us about that is Emma Spence, sophomore from Nebraska women's gymnastics. Well, you ready? You guys excited to be back in Lincoln?
Yes, super excited to have another opportunity at home meet.
You guys have had some really good crowds this
Yes.
year. I mean, how exciting has that been for you guys to run out there and have so many crowds? And one was in the middle of a snowstorm.
I know, exactly. It's been so great because we definitely can feel the energy from the people watching us, and it gives us more energy, and it's super exciting to compete with them.
Well, I like to let fans get to know you a little bit outside of just what you do as a student athlete. So you're from Canada.
Yes.
And grew up, competed for Team Canada all throughout, and actually just competed at the World Championships and helped Team Canada win a bronze medal. But how did you even get into gymnastics? You're from a sports family, right?
Yes. So I actually started after my sister did. She's younger than me. I think she got started because she went to a birthday party that was gymnastics, and she really liked it. And she was able to do like cool flips and stuff around the house. So I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to start it too. So yeah, that's basically how I got into it. My sisters and I, we all did it together for a very long time. So it was almost like a family thing for a while, I guess. Yeah, and then I just kind of stuck with it. Yeah.
When did you realize that you could go compete for Team Canada, compete on the world stage, potentially go to college with it? How did that all unfold for you?
So for a long time, I really did it just because I enjoyed gymnastics. Like, I loved doing it. I didn't really care about the scores. I didn't really care about all that. I just did it because I enjoyed it. And I just got better over time. I worked hard at what I was doing. And then I didn't it wasn't like a set goal to make the national team. Like, I was just trying to be the best that I could. And after one meet, I did really well. And then they were like, oh, you made the national team. So I was like, oh my gosh, really? Like, it just kind of happened like that. It wasn't really planned, but it was super exciting. So that was back in 2017. So I've been on the national team ever since. And I started as a junior. So I competed as a junior for about 2 years for Team Canada. Traveled to some competitions in different countries. And then I did it as a senior. I didn't even really think about college gymnastics for a long time. It's not really something that people do if you do elite gymnastics too. Mm-hmm. Like, it's usually one or the other. But I don't know, I wanted to see what it was all about. Everyone talks about how it's really fun and it's just like a good team experience, and I really wanted to try that out. So I committed here. It would have been, I think it was my junior year of high school. And usually that's pretty late for gymnasts. Usually they commit pretty young, but I wanted to try it out, and I've loved it ever since I've been here. And for a while, I was thinking I was just going to do NCAA gymnastics, but I had a really good year for my freshman year here, and I fell in love with the sport and really started enjoying what I was doing again. So I decided to give it another shot with Team Canada too, and now I do both.
That's all. So you had fallen out of love with the sport before last year. Is that?
Yeah, pretty much.
What did you fall back in love with, I guess, or how did you, I guess?
Yeah, so basically back before I came here, I went to Olympic trials and everything, like, because, well, okay, so a lot of started with COVID. Like, that was very hard. The training environment I was in back home wasn't the best either. So all of that just kind of drained me, and it just wasn't enjoyable for me anymore. And I was almost ready to quit, honestly. Like, after the Olympic trials and everything were done, I was like, I really just don't like what I'm doing. But I was like, I'll give it another shot. I'll try NCAA gymnastics, because everyone says that that's, like, it's just enjoyable, and everyone usually seems to find their love for the sport doing it. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it at least a year and see what happens. But yeah, I just loved it. The team atmosphere here and, like, the coaches and just all the different support systems have been, like, incredible for me. So yeah.
So you compete in all-around. I've competed in every single all-around competition since you've been here. How have you been able to do that? Because that's hard on the body.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm very, like, I pay a lot of attention to my recovery. That would, like, my sleep, my mental health, physical recovery. So, like, ice bathing, stretching, rolling out, all that kind of stuff. Because, yeah, if I didn't, I don't think I would be able to do it. But I just have to make sure that I'm putting in that extra work to make sure that my body and just mentally I'm doing okay to be able to do all of that, because it is a lot. And it's especially doing Team Canada as well. Like, last year I never really had an off season, because once our season finished, I trained for those Canadian meets, and then I competed all summer and then in the fall, and then I got back from Worlds, and 2 weeks later I have our first inter squad here. So I never really had that downtime, so I really have to make sure that I'm on top of that.
I asked you this going into the meet, but I think it'd be fun for our listeners to hear. What's your favorite event? Because you do all four and you compete all four. What's your favorite event?
Okay, so my favorite event to compete is floor, but I'd say my favorite event to train is bars.
Why is that?
I love the performance part of floor, and, like, when you get the crowd involved, when there's a lot of people watching and everyone starts cheering and doing, like, my team, especially on the sidelines, doing the dances with me is really special. And then I love bars. Like, just the feeling of doing bars itself is really nice and just, like, fun. So, yeah.
What would you say your best event is, though?
Honestly, I don't know if I have one. I feel like it changes often.
Because you've had multiple career highs this year. You've won multiple event titles. So I didn't know if you felt like you had I guess, event that you're best at, what people would consider you best at.
I don't know. I would say right now it's probably floor, but last year it wasn't. Last year I think was beam. So I think it all depends on the meet. Like, internationally, I think I'm better on vault. It all just depends on where I'm at the moment, I think, because, yeah, sometimes it's just not.
You have a fun floor routine, so tell us about that, and you've really enjoyed it this year.
Yes, it's so much fun. It's burlesque, so the music's from burlesque, and some of the dancing, we tried to pull pieces from the movie Burlesque, so it's very fun. And then the team on the sidelines know, like, some of the choreography. Like, I blow a kiss at some of the girls, and then they get, like, all excited and do their little celebration on the side. Yeah, I love it. It's super fun. I don't know. I feel like I can really get into it with my personality and just show it off the best that I've had with any other routine so far.
Had you visited Nebraska before you committed?
No.
No,
this was all during COVID also, so we were trying to hold off, like, as long as I could before committing, just to see if the borders were opened up, because the Canadian and U.S. border was closed because of COVID, but it ended up just not opening in time, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to commit. Like, I got virtual FaceTime tours with the coaches, and it looked good to me. I was like, okay, I think that's all I need to know. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it.
That's awesome. So you get here then, and you compete in your first meet, and you go to a football game. What was your perspective of Husker Nation?
It was crazy. Like, when I went to my first football game, it felt like I was in a movie. Like, it's like what you see on TV. So, yeah, that was crazy. And just all athletics in the United States is just such a big deal. So, yeah, even our gymnastics meets, like, there are so many people there. There's just so much involved into it with, like, the media side of it. Just, like, how they have the the screens going like as we compete as well. There's just so much put into it in the athletics side, which is really nice. And being able to compete with that too is crazy.
Well, I asked you about your floor routine because every floor routine you throw the bones, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't know about that, right? You had to be told what the bones were.
I didn't even know what that meant, but I like those little traditions that we do. It also makes us feel like really connected as a team as well, which is nice.
What has it meant to you? Because, I mean, Coach Rule's there. You guys, the football team's been out in support. You got other student athletes that are there. I saw the last time I was there from the track and field team. What has it meant to you? That, I mean, the camaraderie between the student athletes here is really special.
Yes, for sure. It's so nice because we looked up in the stands. We're like, oh, look at all of our friends in the stands watching us. Usually we had the men's team watching, and we watch them just because like we're the same sport, so we're always there to support each other. But recently it seems like there has been a lot more variety in the sports here that are watching us, which is nice. And I've even like made an effort to go watch other sports more frequently also. So I feel like just as a school, everyone's pretty connected, and as a team, we're very close, which is nice.
Do you have a favorite sport outside of gymnastics?
Not really. Yeah, probably not. I don't know. I like watching all of them. Like, I would say football, but I don't really understand football completely. So, like, that, it's cool. Like, the environment's very cool, but I kind of get bored because I get confused.
Hey, you're just a sophomore. You got a couple more years to learn this football thing because it's not as big in Canada.
No, definitely not. I've never watched football until I got here. And then there's so much going on the field at our games, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is too much. And then, yeah, I watched the Super Bowl recently for the first time ever. I was also just like, oh my gosh, confusing.
You're going to go back to Canada, people are going to be like, who's this football fan?
I know.
I have to ask you, though, because you were the part of the first team that won a medal for Team Canada at the World Championships, the bronze medal. What did that mean to you? How special was that to be able to do that for your country?
Yeah, that whole experience was crazy. I don't know, have you ever heard about like what all went into that?
No.
So basically, I was supposed to go to World Trials, and then like 2 days before, I tested positive for mono and strep. So I was told I wasn't allowed to train or anything for 4 weeks. So this was right before I was supposed to go to World Trials, and everyone was saying, like, because I had a good meet through the summer, they're like, oh, you're like probably set to make it. So I was so upset because I thought that, oh, I finally have a chance of making the World's team because I was an alternate the year before. So I was pretty upset. I had to find things to keep myself busy for 4 weeks because I wasn't allowed to train. So finally, after those 4 weeks, I got back into training and everything, and I started training my NCAA routines. Basically, they said I was the non-traveling alternate just based off of my results from the year, not because I went to trials or anything, but so I was like, okay, I'm the second alternate. Like, what are the chances they're going to need me to go? And someone got hurt about a week before we were supposed to leave, and they called me like, okay, so you need to go to Worlds now. I'm like, are you ready? And I was like, well, I mean, I'm not really ready, but I mean, I just started training a week ago. So within about a week, I had to put all my routines together, get ready, and then I was off to England. And we just went into it because it wasn't our A team, really, because there was so much going on. And it wasn't the original team that they picked. We're like, okay, we're just going to go out there. We're going to try our best. And that's all we tried to do. And the fact that we ended up making history, it was just unreal. We were so happy and so proud of ourselves because not that we weren't expecting it, but like we weren't favorited to medal or anything, and it's never happened before. So we just were like, we're just going to have fun and see what happens. And that ended up working out for us.
Wow, that gives me chills. How did that experience and competing in that, going through all that, translate to help you prepare for what you're doing this year as a sophomore?
I feel like I just have a lot more experience knowing how to compete under high pressure situations because that was probably it was the biggest meet I've ever had to compete at, and knowing that I was able to hit my routines there helps me knowing that at these meets I'll be able to hit my routines under those high pressure situations too.
Okay, so for fans listening and that maybe thinking about coming this weekend, you've got all 10 teams that are going to be in Devaney. Tell us how the Big Tens work and what fans can expect when they come in there, because it's going to be sensory overload, all 4 events going at once, right?
Yes, so there's going to be half of the Big Ten schools competing on Friday night, and then the other half are going to be Saturday, and that's when Nebraska is going to be competing. And because there are only 4 rotations, there's going to be a bye, so they're going to be 4 events going at once, and then one of the groups or the teams is going to be on like a rest. as the other ones are going, and we're just going to rotate. So there will be 5 rotations, and yeah, that's kind of how it's going to go. So hopefully people come out and watch and bring the energy, because there's going to be a lot of good gymnastics.
That's awesome. So you guys have, I know, had to reschedule the Michigan meet, which is coming up on Monday. One of the best teams in the country coming in here to Devaney. But going into this weekend, I know you've had some sicknesses on the team and all of that. So what's the approach to this week, and what do you guys need to do as a team?
I think we just need to trust our training, because we've been looking really good in the gym. So if we're able to trust ourselves and just do the same thing out in the meet, I think we're going to be able to do a really good job.
All right. And Ms. Spence, appreciate your time. Excited to see you guys back inside Devaney this weekend. Again, Big Ten's coming up Friday and Saturday. Huskers will be in action at noon on Saturday, so come on out, check them out, and then back in action on Monday night against number 3 Michigan. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. Fascinating conversation. It was fun. We'll have to have you back, because this might be what you want to do later on, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
All right, we'll get you back here inside the Huskers Radio Network. Appreciate it. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, keep it right here. We're back with more here on Sports Nightly. Coming up right after this, buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm Student Government President Jake Drake with Campus News. Nebraska has the most technically advanced buildings in the Big Ten, according to an annual review of universities across the country. Nebraska has also saved over $85 million over the past 17 years by making long-term investments in clean, reliable energy sources, cutting-edge automation, and collaborations across campus.
Wilcher, drop step, left-handed layup, way off the mark, rebound to Wilcher. Wilcher gives it to Griesel, a minute 30 to go in OT. Nebraska down by 1. 64-63, Griesel with the basketball, drives the ball all the way to the hoop, puts it up, and in! Holy smokes! Holy cow!
Saturday, Husker Hoops on the men's side take the airways at 1:30 p.m. with Kent Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen as the Huskers face Minnesota. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of these 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, we've got a big weekend of hoops once again back inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. And Sunday, season finale, home finale, senior night for Nebraska women's basketball, 1 o'clock against Northwestern. One of the seniors that's going to be honored, Sam Haiby. Can you believe it's senior day?
I know, another one, but yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I'm excited. It's been a great 5 years here.
Well, before we get to all of that, we have got to talk about the huge win last night on the road at Illinois. Man, you guys dominated from the start. What was the approach? What was the talk? What was the mindset of the team going into that game?
I think just kind of remembering what happened at our place. We let one slip away there. And then just going into Illinois and trying to play a full 40 minutes of basketball, and we definitely did that last night.
Was that the best, most complete 40 minutes or one of the season that you guys put together?
Yeah, I would say 100%. The first quarter got off to, we were pretty even through there, but then I think in the second half we started off the third quarter very strong and just never let up from there.
How much did this team need a performance like that?
We needed it a lot, big time, especially going into the end of the regular season here and going into the Big Ten tournament. We needed a game like that.
Jazz Shelley, we've seen her be more aggressive, and she's put up some big-time points. How important is that, too, here at the end of the season and going into the Big Ten tournament, for her to score and look to score like she has here recently?
Yeah, everyone can use a Jazz Shelley on their team, that's for sure. But Jazz is a big-time player, and when she's putting the ball in the basket and distributing like she was last night, it's definitely a huge benefit and asset to our team.
Well, I know you guys didn't come out with the outcome that you wanted to on the scoreboard, but let's go back to the Iowa crowd and breaking a record over 14,000. What was it like running out there from the tunnel and seeing that crowd and the lower bowl completely full and people up to the rafters?
It's honestly breathtaking and surreal to be a part of something like that and record setting. I think women's basketball has come a long way to be able to bring in crowds like that, but that's a huge reason why I came to Nebraska in the first place, was the support from Husker Nation, and they definitely showed out and were loud against Iowa for us.
Visiting with Sam Haiby as she gets set to celebrate Senior Day coming up on Sunday against Northwestern. Well, you talked about why you came to Nebraska. It's been 5 years. Take me back to that young Sam Haiby going through the recruiting process and why you wanted to spend your time here, your college career here.
It's been a ride. It's been a journey. I can still remember when the coaching staff came to Moorhead, Minnesota on a home visit. But once I stepped foot on campus here at Nebraska, I kind of knew in the back of my mind, even from the first visit, that this is a place I could call home for 4 years, and then an extra fifth one has been awesome. But there's really no place like Nebraska, and I haven't taken a moment of this for granted.
How would you describe your journey here?
It's been up and down. I know my first 2 years, especially on the basketball court, we were kind of an average team, and then we got the NIT bid my junior year during COVID, and then making the NCAA tournament last season was a huge accomplishment and something that I wanted to do in my career here at Nebraska. So hopefully we can continue that throughout this season and finish strong.
How much have you grown off the court, too? And what are the areas that you've really grown in all phases of Sam Haiby?
Yeah, I think at Nebraska it's special because there's so many like community service and outreach opportunities that they provide for student athletes here. So being able to go out into the community and reach out that way, and then also just finding my path for the future and the careers I want to kind of go into.
You know, you started the season and had the injury and kind of went through that process. I mean, what's that been like? You thought you were going to play, then you didn't play, and then and even just you go back to last year, and this time you're going in and you went through senior day. You didn't know if you were going to come back. You were kind of weighing your options, and then you come back, and then you have the injury.
Yeah.
What's that whole process been like? And I guess how appreciative are you that you did get to play this year?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't my first injury or something that has like kept me out of playing the sport that I love, but yeah, after deciding to come back and then rehabbing the shoulder throughout the whole summer, and then September before the season even starts, thinking that I had an ACL tear, but then being able to still finish my season here at Nebraska. It's been a roller coaster, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's those experiences in life that kind of build you into the person that you are today, but I'm super grateful that I'm able to finish out on the basketball court.
Do you feel like you're getting back to yourself? Because that's one thing that a lot of the broadcasters that are calling your games have said, you're starting to look like the Sam Haiby of old. Do you feel now, is it still a process, even though you didn't have the complete ACL reconstruction,
right,
to go through that and get back to your playing shape? Do you feel like you're pretty close to normal going into the postseason right now?
Yeah, I would definitely say that. I think on the mental side, it's a lot more than physical, just kind of going through that things, but I'm grateful that they found out it wasn't as significant as it actually was. So, but yeah, just kind of staying diligent and getting back in the court.
All right, let's talk about Northwestern final game and senior day at that. It can be an emotional day. How do you guys approach this game and the final one inside Pinnacle Bank Arena? And you guys need a win. I mean, let's face it, you guys need to finish this out with a win.
Yeah, ultimately we have a game to play and a win to get, but it's definitely going to be an emotional night. This will be my final game at PBA for sure this time. So, but we're going in there to get a W and then celebrate our seniors after.
And how important is it to put two together going into the Big Ten tournament? And then hopefully, I mean, you guys are going to be the postseason no matter what, but still making a case to get into the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. So how important is it to put another complete performance together?
Yeah, our goal is still to make the NCAA tournament. And then to do that, we have to put ourselves in the best position in the Big Ten tournament to win some games, win it all, whatever we can do to set ourselves up to make that NCAA tournament.
Well, 5 years and the final time you're going to run out there inside Pinnacle Bank Arena, what message would you say to Husker fans that are listening in?
Honestly, I'm just beyond grateful for the support that you guys have given not only me, but every team that I've been on for the past 5 years. Like I said, you guys are a huge reason why I chose to come to Nebraska, but 5 years has been awesome, and I can't thank you enough.
All right, Sam Haiby and Izzy Bourne, Jazz Shelley, Trinity Brady, all going to be honored on Saturday, or on Sunday. So come on out, support them one more time. Northwestern, 1 o'clock on Sunday, regular season finale for Nebraska women's basketball. Thank you so much for taking some time, and congratulations on a great career, and more to come. We're not done yet, right?
Absolutely.
All right, that is Sam Haiby. Again, 1 o'clock Northwestern. Be there inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. We're going to be back with more from Sports Nightly coming up right after this. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Looking for a car buying experience tailored to you? Start with Woodhouse, a trusted partner for automotive needs and a proud member of the Nebraska community. With 18 brands and 21 sales and service locations, our dedicated Woodhouse team is ready to provide you a convenient and seamless transaction from anywhere. Whether purchasing, selling, or servicing, experience the difference with Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. So welcome you back to Sports Nightly, our final segment here of hour number one. Great to hear from Emma Spence and Sam Haiby. Man, you think about Sam Haiby and her contributions to this women's basketball program and how much she's meant, and you're going to hear Coatney talk about it here a little bit later, but I mean, just a massive piece of what this program's been able to do and what Amy Williams has been able to do as a head coach here.
And it's just crazy, what happened with Sam beginning of the year, saying she would potentially be out the whole year, for her to come back, give what she's give her all to this team, and being a senior leader out there has been head over heels the best thing for this team, and they really are clicking towards the end of it. And I said, Jazz is really finding her stroke again. You
were joking with Emma about Canadian football.
Okay, so
because she obviously, you heard her talking about, she's not really a football fan. Football's not huge in Canada, and you were like, well, have you watched Canadian football? And you were trying to tell us, and it's pretty wild.
It's 20 times different from regular football. But Emma was kind of saying that she knows a lot more about the NFL than she did Canadian.
She knows more about hockey. She's a hockey fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of things with the Canadian League that I don't understand and doesn't translate at all to the NFL. The goalposts are ahead of the end zone, as in the NFL, it's completely behind the end zone. There's 2 points, there's 3 points, I think. There's just crazy things that I totally don't understand, but it's hilarious, and it's super entertaining. I was a big fan when my Pittsburgh Steeler, Martavius Bryant, went to the Toronto Argonauts. I was really tuned in watching a lot of the games over there, and I was trying to understand it, but I couldn't really. But it's still very, very entertaining, and a lot of things going through.
Okay, one score, you mentioned it in the ticker, but to keep an eye on, it's just under 11 minutes left in the second. Penn State, Ohio State, tied at 57, and Nebraska men's basketball still has a chance to get that first round bye in the Big Ten tournament. Penn State is one of the teams that Nebraska is chasing. So they're ahead of Ohio State. I don't think, as long as Nebraska wins, Ohio State can't pass them. Plus, Nebraska has the head-to-head over Ohio State. But I think we're going for Ohio State in this tonight. I think we need Ohio State to win.
I think we need Ohio State to win. Can't really see it behind now.
We're in commercial break.
But, no, I think we need Ohio State on this one for sure.
Ohio State is behind Nebraska, which Kent, you helped us record that interview with Kent the other day, Kent Pavelka, and we dive into the metrics of the net and what is going on with it and how in the world it's basically like identical, some of the records, but yet Nebraska's way further down in the net than the other teams. But Ohio State is definitely a team that Nebraska's ahead of in the Big Ten standings, but Penn State is, depending on how this all shakes out, could pass them. And the head-to-head will be intriguing because they split in the regular season, obviously. So we'll see how it all works out. But there's a chance still that Nebraska doesn't even have to play on the first round of the Big Ten tournament.
No, I think so too. And I think especially worst-case scenario, I've seen a lot of things of being in the NIT. I'm not sure if that's even a thing of... Here's
the thing. The NIT has... I was looking this up the other day. I did a deep dive, and they have moved away. There's this misconception now that it's you have to have a 500 record. It's not the case anymore. You don't have to have a 500 record to be in the NIT.
That's what.
But you don't think that the NIT wants a team like Nebraska? Because how much have we talked about there's fans nationwide, and how excited would Husker Nation be to have the basketball team in the postseason, whether it's the NCAA tournament or the NIT?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if it's NIT, NCAA tournament, whatever we are in, Husker Nation's going to be right behind us and give us all that we can, and that's something that's super exciting.
I really think if push comes to shove, the NIT is going to put Nebraska in it. All right, we have a very special caller on the line. Kim, in parentheses, Andrew's mom. Kim is awesome. Met her. She's kind of become a second mom to me here in Nebraska. She's called in tonight. Kim, how's it going?
It's going great. I just finished parent-teacher conferences, and I've been listening to you guys on Husker Radio. You guys sound great.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it, Mom.
Yes. You guys just sound so good, and I'm excited for some Husker basketball now.
Yes. No, it's definitely been the right time, and I said this has been so exciting for the last few streaks that I've had, watching this team play and working hand-in-hand with KP and Jake, especially KP the legend. I mean, he's been doing this since I wasn't even born. He's a GOAT, and it's just so much fun to do that.
Kim, let me ask you something. Okay, you guys are longtime Husker fans. What's it been like for you as mom to have Andrew producing Husker football, Husker basketball, to be involved with Husker athletics?
You know, I don't even know if I can share the joy, the pride, the love that I just feel for, Husker athletics in general. But then when you have your son being a huge part of that, it's just a little overwhelming. And so while I am very excited for him in this next chapter, I'm also kind of sad that I'm losing my little spot down in Haymarket and time with my son, because that's like the spot for the family tailgate.
Well, hey, you did a great job, obviously, raising him. He's awesome. He's obviously become like family to me. You guys have become family to me. So thank you for lending him to us for a little bit.
Yes,
and maybe we'll get him back.
Yep.
Yes, and thank you to you, Jessica. You guys and the whole team there, you, Mike, just everybody there in the department have just been such great mentors to Andrew, and also just did such a great job of taking care of this young man. And so just love and shout out to everybody there. We just appreciate you all.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Kim, thanks so much for calling in. We got to work on our final break here on hour number one. Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. Hour number two,
Hit
up
us
next.
Up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra. The perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Haiby Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Good evening. I'm Andrew Dowdy, and here's tonight's Sports Nightly Ticker brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Nebraska Beach Volleyball opens the season on Friday morning against Wayne State. Pairings for the Huskers have been released. Becca Alec will play with Lexi Rodriguez. Allie Batenhorst paired with Bergen Riley. Lainey Chavoy will play alongside Lindsay Krause. You can see the full lineup now on Huskers.com. The match with Wayne State is scheduled for 8 a.m. inside the Hawks Championship Center. Action will be streamed live on the Huskers YouTube page. Nebraska men's basketball looks to stay hot and make it 4 straight wins in a row, hosting Minnesota inside PBA at 2:30 on Saturday. Today, Fred Hoiberg talks about keeping the momentum leading into Minnesota game Saturday.
It's important for us to continue to go out, not get complacent. We've had some time. Blaze is still pretty sore, and not sure what we're going to have out of him. He'll certainly continue to get treatments around the clock, and we'll see how he feels on Saturday morning. But he has not done anything in practice the last couple days, and they pose some problems with bigger lineups. They'll play Battle at 3, they'll play Garcia at 4, and Payne at 5. So just have to go out there, whatever lineup is thrown at us, and continue to compete. And that's been the thing, and that I've been impressed with our group. It's been the message to this group, to just continue to go out and do the things that have made us a solid basketball team these last couple weeks.
Big Ten men's hoop action begins with Penn State at Ohio State as they have reached halftime. Michigan at Rutgers, 66-65 from Jessica. Penn State. Michigan at Rutgers will tip off at 7:30. Number 21 Northwestern will play at Illinois. Tip-off for that one is set for 8 p.m. On the women's side, Rutgers at number 12 Michigan, just underway. And the Huskers' Sunday opponent, Northwestern, hosting Wisconsin, also just tipped. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has emerged from his darkness retreat. And in final news, we want to wish a happy 86th birthday to the greatest of all time, Tom Osborne. Our Sports Nightly Ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeliness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. That's the ticker. Now get ready for Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Crossover dribble on the take, and the left-handed layup. Got it! Derek Walker!
Anderson hammers one to center. That's hit pretty well. Kern backing up. He's to the track. He's to the wall. And that ball is gone!
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. It's at our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly here on this Thursday evening, final show of the week, as we've got a jam-packed weekend headed your way right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Crossover season is in full swing. We've got busy weekend, Husker sports in action all across the country and in Lincoln. So we thought we'd get you set for the weekend, talking to all of the guys that will be calling the action right here on the Huskers Radio Network. And we start with the voice of the Huskers and Greg Sharpe and Nebraska baseball. Not the start that the Husker baseball team wanted, 0-3-1 in San Diego. They have a 3-game series at South Alabama, but coming off last weekend, how do you think this week of practice was for the Huskers?
I'm sure it was interesting for them, but before I jump into some baseball, I need a little love because I called that win last night.
Oh, the women.
Remember on my last words of the show, I got a good feeling about this one tonight. How about that?
Yes.
33 points.
That was a big-time performance from the women's basketball. When they needed it, they needed a performance like that.
And I'm telling you, I think that's going to be a big-time weighted win. But yes, it was a one. You don't play a lot of 4-game weekend series that end on Monday, and then they got back really late Monday night. So then it's a quick turnaround to go back into this, and that might be a good thing, that it's not sitting around for 4 or 5 more days to kind of flush those games out of their mind. That was a really, really bad way to finish, Jessica. You're up 6 runs, 3 outs to go to get your first win, and you can't hang on. So hopefully they've kind of get the minds right and and go after South Alabama.
Weekend number one, just weekend number one as a reminder, but what's the biggest area of concern that needs to be fixed this weekend?
Guys throwing strikes, particularly out of the bullpen. The starters weren't bad, but the guys that come in out of the bullpen have got to throw strikes. It's hard to win in baseball if you don't throw strikes, and so I think that's the message. Will Bolt said yesterday, he goes, he was disappointed in the lack of competitiveness he saw from the pitching staff, so I'm sure that message was delivered the last couple of days.
You think they have the arms? It's just a matter of mentally just throwing the strikes?
I think they've got some arms. Particularly the starters, Olsen and Kaminska and Clark, I think will be fine. And the longer you go, the more innings they can eat up because they'll build up their endurance as they go. So you may not need that bullpen quite as much. And without having to play a fourth game, you can really pick and choose who you pitch in Friday, Saturday, Sunday's matchups.
You did like the bats, what you saw from the bats.
Yeah, I think a much better lineup than last year. Dylan Clark was phenomenal. His first weekend as a college baseball player, a couple of home runs. Probably should have been freshman of the week in the conference. Hard to pick a guy when your team doesn't win a game, but his numbers were phenomenal. I think Charlie Fisher, the young man from Southern Miss, is going to be a nice addition to the lineup. Max Anderson swung it really well. Garrett Anglin picked up where he left off last year, and Josh Caron, I think, is going to be a much better batter from the catcher's position as well.
What do we know about South Alabama, or is this more about what Nebraska's going to do?
Yeah, they're okay. They're probably comparable to San Diego. They have not had to play a road game yet. Good Southern school, they get to play at home in their own ballpark. We'll see some more left-handed arms out of them. We saw hardly any left-handed pitchers from San Diego, so that'll be a little bit different look for Nebraska. They played a midweek game. They played last night and were able to win last night, so they kind of haven't had much practice time, but so yeah, this will be a challenge again this weekend.
You never been to this ballpark?
Never been to Mobile, period. Been to Tuscaloosa, but not Mobile, which sits right on the Gulf. People say it's a really pretty town, so I'm looking forward to this.
And weather's supposed to be nice?
Upper 70s.
Boy, you got 2 weekends in a row of nice weather.
It was chilly in San Diego.
Oh, was it?
At nighttime, it was like 54 at first pitch. It was a little chilly, but this will be warm all week long.
You expecting many Husker fans there, as many as were in San Diego?
No, because Nebraska has a lot of alumni, like Art and those guys, Crypto out there live in California. Not as many people in South Alabama, I don't think.
All right, and then you're going to be calling baseball, but you'll be checking in on all the other action going on, right?
Big weekend, right? I'm excited for Big Ten track.
Yes.
To see how Coach Sinclair now, the new head coach, how they do on Friday and Saturday. Basketball both Saturday, Sunday, so busy weekend.
Women's gymnastics, I mean, everybody is in action this weekend, so it should be a fun weekend. We'll have fun. Best of luck and safe travels.
Looking forward to it.
All right, again, Greg Sharpe, Ben McLaughlin on the call all weekend for you right here on the Huskers Radio Network starting Friday, first pitch, 7 o'clock, and they'll be on the call for you. Friday, first pitch, 6:30. They'll be on the call for you starting at 6 o'clock with the pregame show. All right, now let's talk Huskers softball with Nate Rohr. Nate, before we dive into the matchups this weekend, let's go back to last weekend. What were your big takeaways from how the Huskers performed out there in Florida?
I was happy with how much better things got from a competition standpoint and how they competed as the week went along. I think Thursday, facing UCLA, which is now the #1 team in the country, and then an Oklahoma State team that's very, very good, a top 5 team, I think Nebraska was a little overwhelmed. And Rhonda Revelle pointed this out to me. You know, even last year, as great as last year is, there were only a couple of games last year where Nebraska played teams at that level, including Oklahoma State once at the regional. So the sense I got was day one, they were a little overwhelmed. The game was a little fast for them. And then they take on a Virginia Tech team that isn't quite as good, but is in that neighborhood, a top 10 team, a team that won the ACC last year. And though they didn't win, they competed a whole lot better. And then, of course, Saturday they pick up the victory over Texas A&M, and I think that's a pretty quality win that Nebraska was able to get. And then they lose to Arkansas on Sunday, and I think Arkansas is going to be very much in the mix for a third straight SEC title. So I think I was encouraged most by how much better Nebraska held up as the week went on against elite competition, and I think that'll serve them well as the year goes on.
Well, Billie Andrews on a tear again to start the season. How about her start? And then where else can the bats get going? How else do the bats need to get going in the lineup?
Yeah, Billy has shown a proclivity to not just hit well, but especially at beginnings of years and in leading off games. And I think pitchers have a little different approach at the beginning of the game. They're more apt to look to throw a more hittable strike, because as the game goes on, you adjust to hitters, you get your feel as a pitcher. And so you can be a little more fine, whereas right at the beginning of the game, you're more apt to throw one that gets the good part of the plate. And Billy's been ready for it throughout her career, and she continues to be ready for it. And we've seen the fruit of that. I think offensively, I look for big improvements from Sydney Gray and Abby Squire. They had great years last year. They've both gotten off to slow starts this year, but it felt like their swings were getting better as the weekend went on. Rhonda dropped them in the order, which I think takes some pressure off of them. Coach Ravel said even in one of our pregame interviews that she doesn't expect the drops in the lineup to be permanent. She expects at some point Sydney Gray and Abby Squire will be back up in the lineup. But for the time being, while they get their legs under them, hitting seventh, hitting eighth in the order, maybe seeing better pitches to hit, not getting quite as much focus from the opposing coaching staff in the scouting report will set them up for a little more success and get them going as we move on through non-conference.
I've been told the ballpark in New Mexico is a hitter-friendly ballpark. Is that correct?
Very much so. And Nebraska has gone there maybe annually for the last decade. I mean, if not annually, then every couple of years. And the altitude is higher there. It's a dry air. The fences aren't quite as far back. I think it's just 190 down either foul line. And so it's a great place to hit. And so this offense, which I think is still kind of fighting its confidence and still trying to find themselves, has a great opportunity this weekend to do just that against three pitching staffs, putting aside Oklahoma State because they're great. But, when you look at Cal State Bakersfield and New Mexico State, those are three lesser pitching staffs. And especially in that environment, these bats ought to be able to get going.
All right, you heard it right there. It all starts Friday. Oklahoma State, fourth-ranked team in the country, 12:30. New Mexico State, 5:30 on Friday. Saturday, a pair of games, and then they'll wrap up Sunday, 10 a.m. with New Mexico. Nate Rohr will be on the call for all of the action right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Looking forward to hearing your call all weekend, Nate. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk some Nebraska women's basketball now with voice of the Huskers women's basketball team, Matt Coatney. Well, before we get into the final home game of the season, the final regular season game on Sunday, how about that performance in Illinois? That's what this team needed, a performance like that, right?
It really did. A 4-game losing streak, and I think there was some issues about confidence, about just trying to get a win, and it was a complete team victory last night. Jazz Shelley was really right on top of everything for the Big Red, and credit the coaching staff. I thought they had a great game plan. It just really was impressive. I didn't see a blowout win of 33 points at a nationally ranked team that had already won at Pinnacle Bank Arena. It was just a lot of fun.
Was that the most complete performance of the season?
I would probably put it right next to the game at Maryland. I think it's hard to look at the Maryland win when the Huskers hadn't won there in 15 previous tries against the Terps. But certainly this was a much-needed victory, and I think it's because that the Huskers played as close to a 40-minute game as they had all year.
How important has Jazz Shelley's aggressiveness been here late? How much are they going to need that moving forward, too?
Well, it certainly has been a breath of fresh air because she went through a period where, depending on how you look at it, the teams had just scouted to take her away or that she was in a slump, and it looks like that's all behind her. Getting 37 at Minnesota last week and then backing that up with 26 last night. But I think what really is not talked about enough with Jazz Shelley is her defense starts her offense. When she can block shots, when she can get steals, then usually her offense follows that. When she's being a 5-tool player, then she is just so dangerous. When her defense is not getting steals for Nebraska or getting stops, and usually her offense gets stagnant. When Jazz Shelley is right, Nebraska can play with any team in the nation.
All right, let's talk that matchup against Northwestern. Northwestern at the bottom of the standings in the Big Ten. But what are the keys? What should we be looking out for the Huskers to go take care of business on Sunday?
Joe McEwen is a great coach, and while his team is having a down year, they always play Nebraska exactly the same. They win the turnover battle by an average of at least 20 turnovers a game. But the Huskers have overcome that the last few years by winning the rebound battle by about 15 per game. And that is exactly what happened in the earlier game a couple of weeks ago in Evanston, where Nebraska had a 22-point lead, and then Northwestern went to this very aggressive fourth quarter defense where if they didn't get the steal, they got a foul. And the Huskers won it at the free throw line and were able to get away and get the win. But Northwestern's going to foul, and they're going to make Nebraska earn it at the free throw line. They're going to try to disrupt Nebraska. They're going to try to turn them over and make it very difficult to get up the floor. And here's the thing. If Northwestern can hit threes, then they'll stick around in that game. They run something called a blizzard defense, which is a matchup zone. Joe McEwen's been coaching forever. And if the Huskers can keep the turnover margin to below 20, I like their chances.
As always, Matt Coatney, Jeff Grace will be on the call of this one coming up. 12:45 pregame show is when that will start, and 1 o'clock tip, Nebraska and Northwestern for the regular season finale and senior day on Sunday inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. Coat, appreciate it.
Thanks, Jessica. Enjoyed talking to you.
All right, let's talk some men's hoops now. Men's basketball hosting Minnesota 2:30 on Saturday, and looking to make it 4 in a row. So we welcome in the voice of the Huskers. Are you recovered? Are you still on the verge of passing out, Kent Pavelka?
I guess there's no sound effects. I just passed out again. I've been in and out of consciousness ever since the end of that game. No, it was fun, wasn't it? You were there the whole time, weren't you?
I was, yeah. Boy, that was incredible atmosphere. It was loud. I mean, boy, this team's got something special going on, and you and I visited before the game, and again, kind of had to do it a little bit differently because they weren't shooting it well from the outside and found a way to win and grind it out.
Good point. You know, and I think Coach Hoiberg made a really good point about the crowd during that period in which, you know, Maryland came back, what was it, an 8-point lead, something like that, 6-8 points. And, yeah, they still weren't hitting shots, but somehow that crowd kept Nebraska in it. I really believe that. But they did it with mirrors, kind of. You know, they didn't hit 11 threes like they did the game before against Rutgers. So, but all the more power to them. I mean, find different ways to win basketball games. 4 out of 5, you can't argue with the results.
Absolutely. Did you see any comments about it was a bad loss for Maryland?
I was just kind of scripting out what I'm going to say before the game on Saturday. I'm gonna go back to that because I still don't think they're getting any respect, you know, like they should be. I came home. Was it Saturday or Sunday? The game, the
Sunday.
days were Sunday. Turned on BTN, and they're raving about everybody else, and oh, by the way, Nebraska upset Rutgers and whatever. I don't know. I'm just sick of it, so I'm going to rant and rave about it till the season's over. I just think it's such a cool story, you know. All these guys involved, Sam and Jamarcus and even Blake, you know, Blaze stepping in. I mean, these guys weren't in the picture back when Bandamel and Gary were playing. They were like, you know, role players that were going to get 7, 8, 9 minutes if they were lucky. And now, you know, there are opportunities there, and we get to enjoy it. We get to watch it as they show what they can do. And so it's not just Casey, it's all those guys. It's just been kind of a storybook year for me anyway. And ironically enough, again, for a team that's 500 on the year, you know.
Well, perfect segue because, again, the last time that Nebraska played Minnesota at Minnesota back on January 7th, both Juwan Gary and Emmanuel Vandermill played in that game. So how is this matchup different, both on the Nebraska side and the Minnesota side, going into this one when the Huskers would, hey, let's see if they can win 4 in a row?
Well, I'm just, everybody, people probably think that I'm just full of it, but, I'm always saying, there's a collective kind of cockiness developing, amongst the fans now. It's like, well, once we beat Minnesota, then we can beat Michigan State, and then maybe we'll beat Iowa. Look, Minnesota probably be 1-15 coming in here, and still, if Nebraska doesn't play, if they don't bring it, it's going to be a difficult game. They had been without Dawson Garcia. They're probably one of their 2 best players. He'd been out with an injury. He's back. You gotta credit their program. I mean, Ben Johnson's done a good job keeping them together, and so I'm kind of scared of that game on Saturday. I don't think that the collective energy will be the same heading into it by the fans or the players. You can kind of say that you're going to be in that place, but I just don't think you can be. And so then you're going to have to dig down deep and just get it done.
What's the key for the Huskers to win another one? What's kind of the big thing you'll be watching for in this matchup particular? I
think whether or not Minnesota is in the game late in the first half. I mean, I think you got to take advantage of the opportunity of being at home and riding all this momentum and discourage them. I think you got to discourage Minnesota. I don't think you want to get into the last 8 minutes of the game and have it be tight fit. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm hoping for.
You gonna have an ice pack on hand because apparently Jake was complaining that you pulled his arm out of socket the other day.
He's a crybaby. That's part of the job,
I love it. And then also Sam, I also have to ask you about this. Sam Hoiberg, you guys nicknamed him the governor, so he's ahead of the mayor?
Right. That's right. I just thought at the end, to heck with these menial titles and responsibilities. The mayor, that's nothing, Sam governor now, so the family's got a new leader.
I love it. Kim Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen will be on the call coming up 1:30 pregame leading into the 2:30 tip-off between Nebraska and Minnesota men's hoops as they look to make it 4 in a row here in February. All right, Kent, appreciate it.
Talk to you later, Jessica.
Well, I told all of those guys, hey, I'm going to keep it really quick. I didn't keep it really quick. I had to cut out some for timing purposes here for the show. So if you want to hear more, Matt Coatney dives into the postseason projections. Nate Rohr talks more about Husker pitching. Kim Pavelka, we just completely go off the rails a little bit. So right now, it's out on our Huskers Radio Network podcast. You can listen to it now. So if you want to hear more from any of those guys leading into this weekend right now. And if you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400. If you want to be a part of it, the Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Back with more from Sports Nightly coming up right after this.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sap Brothers. For over 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sapbros.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
It's time again for some Nebraska farm facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Matthews goes, hit and run is on. Sartori bounces one through the left side for a hit. Matthews is going to try for third. Bottling the ball, and all the way to the wall goes the ball. Matthews is going to score. Sartori to third. Harvell waving him around. And Sartori's going to circle the bases.
Tomorrow, Husker baseball takes the airways at 6 p.m. with Greg Sharpe and Ben McLaughlin with pregame coverage as they face off against South Alabama. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red. Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Every day, Central Valley Ag helps ranchers give their herds the nutrition they need to deliver healthy calves. CVA's Power Cow tubs are fortified to provide complete nutrition while protecting your bottom line. With supplements like Biomoss, Hamafirm, or Avela-4. Learn more online at cvacoop.com. Register to win 2 3015 Power Cow tubs valued at over $300. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation. Visit us at the Nebraska Cattlemen's Classic.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Haiby Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Haiby stores, where right now kids can eat free.
First Interstate Bank built for you. Learn more at www.firstinterstatebank.com. Member FDIC. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, let's get right to the phones because we have a special caller on the line on Andrew's last night here on Sports Nightly. And the voice.
Hello, Andrew.
Who is it? Do you know who it is?
Well, should I say hello, Alex?
Oh, my goodness. Jeremiah Searles, the man, the myth.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you calling in the show and being on tonight with me, man.
Hey, yeah, no, it was a pleasure to get to know you and get to chat with you and just to share some good times and enjoy and just busting your balls sometimes, but also just how hard you work. And, we just really appreciated all the work you helped us do with the podcast and the game day stuff. So I had to call in for my guy one time.
No, I appreciate it, man. And we will always forever be connected. I got your number. We need to be in contact, man. And you're my guy, for real.
You guys have to tell the
absolutely.
story. You thought his name was Alex, but people might be wondering why you called him Alex.
No, wasn't that just a funny nickname that we gave?
It was. Everyone, well, you called me like Jair or
Jebediah, right?
Jebediah, yeah, you called me Jebediah, and I was like, all right, then I'm going to call you Alex. I was like, they're both not our real names. And so from there on out, I just referred to you as Alex whenever I wanted to.
What's with all this niceness? Because you guys have kind of, battled it out a little bit, but little niceness on Alex's last night.
Tough love.
You always send them away with honey, Jess.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know where they're going to be. You never know where he's going to end up. Next thing you know, Andrew's a GM of the Panthers. I'm trying to get a guy signed there, and I'm going to be like, Alex, what's up?
Hey, I'm making my way up. I'm heading to my next league position now, so slowly and surely I'm going to make my way up to the top, and I'm never going to forget any of you guys. You guys helped me get there, and I'll always be thankful for my gang here, for real.
If you need to get into the NBA agency, the basketball agency thing, maybe you could hit up Andrew.
Oh, my goodness. Jeremiah, you're my man. I appreciate the call.
Absolutely, guys. I hope everything's going well down there in Lincoln. I'm trying to shovel myself out of snow up here in Minneapolis.
Hey, we gotta get another pod in soon. The people are wondering where you're at,
Yes.
which you disappear for a little while this time of year, but you'll be back soon. You'll reemerge soon.
As spring football comes back, I will slowly rise from the ashes.
Well, Crypto King in the chat's going to love to hear your voice. So, hey, thanks for calling in, Jeremiah. You're the best.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Absolutely. Love you guys. Go Big Red.
Love you, bro.
All right, and another special caller on the line. Uncle Scott is calling in.
Yes. How are we doing tonight?
Good. You're finally calling in on the show. We've been asking you to call in. You're finally calling in on his last night.
Well, I'll tell you, I just got off a plane and I'm still sitting right off the tarmac just calling you guys so I could at least say hi to all you guys there.
You're a regular listener of the show, and again...
all the time. I've been listening for years and known Mike and got to meet you, and, listening to Andrew trying to pick sports bets always cracked me up because he's probably one of the worst ones I ever heard.
Hey, what's it been like for you? I asked Kim earlier, Andrew's mom, about what it's meant to your family, because you guys are longtime Husker fans, and that's why he's always said that he bleeds red because he was born into it because of the fam. And so what's it like for you as a longtime Husker fan to see him being involved with Husker athletics the way he has been?
Oh, we were so excited and glad to see that he's doing it. And, just it's been tough to stay a Husker fan for 40 years. It's not been easy.
No, you're definitely right about that, but thick and thin, always bleed Husker red, Uncle Scott.
Well, I agree, Andrew, and we're not like these Chief fans. We're not bandwagoners. We always stay and root for the Huskers all the time.
See, that's why you're my guy. Exactly. Exactly. He knows it. We know everything. And I appreciate you calling, as I know you're heading out right now for your flight, and I appreciate it. It means the world that you're calling in right now.
No, absolutely. I heard Mama Bear called in earlier.
She did.
She had to make a guest appearance as well. You know she was going to.
Oh, I know, God. Everybody's proud of you, Andrew, and hopefully everything works out good, and you can come back, and you and Jessica, we can get back to being on the deck again and having a few cocktails.
Watching the fireworks.
Yep.
So, tell Mike we appreciate him. We'll get together with you guys soon.
All right.
Sounds good. Thanks, Uncle Scott. Love you.
Uncle Scott, thanks for calling in. Hey, people.
You bet, Jessica.
Thanks, Scott. People are wondering, because you got a really special phone call during one of the commercial breaks asking to explain what you're doing. So tell us who called and also give us the background on what you're doing.
So during the last commercial break, one of our longtime listeners, Carla,
One of our favorite listeners.
One of our favorite callers. She's so supportive of everyone here. She called during the break, and I'm talking about, I've had my mom call me, my dad, my grandparents, uncles, aunts like this, and they've been super appreciative and gotten me, want to kind of try to break me up a little, but Carla called me, and I was almost you saw me. I had tears in my eyes, and this is my next step. I'm so excited for this, but she got me crying. I was like, wow. Carla is such a great lady. She is so nice, and all of Husker Nation, in the YouTube guys, everyone is just super supportive, and that's what stinks about leaving, is this place has everyone's back, and that was just something that made me just feel great. And it was a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that she said that, I mean, without you, you wouldn't have the network, and a lot of things that she said just really hit me, and that was something big. And
okay, but what are you doing? Tell people what you're doing.
So I just accepted a job with the Wisconsin Herd. It's a G League team affiliated with the Bucks. I'm going to be running their social media, and I'm going to be also their marketing manager. So I'm excited for this next step. I'm going to be working with their G League team, and I'm also going to be having a chance to work with the Bucks once their season's over with. And that's going to be great experience and great learning options for me to work with the Bucks and work potentially with a real NBA team, and that's really what I would like to try and want to do in my life. And I'm a huge basketball junkie, and that's me. And I'm going to be running the social and also working in the marketing department. So I'm ready for my next step, and let's see where it takes us.
Yeah, and again, this was Andrew's first job out of college, and so his goal, his dream was always to do more digital content creation. He's helped me out a lot with a lot of the stuff that you see if you follow us on our social media platforms. He's been a lot of the guy that's been behind the camera, but wants to do more of that and get into more of that. So this is going to provide that opportunity. So we are happy for him. This is his dream, so he is chasing his dream, and so we are excited for him. So keep those calls coming in. Appreciate the calls so far coming in. The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. 402-413-2400, the number to call. We got to work at another break. We'll be back with more from Sports Nightly coming up right up.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Students from Nebraska's Johnny Carson Center for Emerging Media Arts helped create visual effects for the Star Wars TV series Obi-Wan Kenobi. This opportunity came from a 3-month internship with Lola VFX, a visual effects firm in Los Angeles. This internship transitioned to employment, with Huskers also creating effects for the superhero movie Thor: Love and Thunder.
Woodhouse, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Blair make shopping for your next vehicle simple. We are committed to providing a car buying experience that will exceed your expectations. Plus, our extensive lineup of new Ram trucks and 2023 Jeep SUVs, like the 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee and new Ram 1500, will ensure we have a vehicle that will enhance your everyday drive. Shop during the President's Day sales event going on now. Online at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. 402-413-2400 if you want to be a part of the show with a text or a phone call. We do have a couple of texts rolling in for you, Andrew. Art in Los Angeles says, Andrew, many of us are so proud of you. Congratulations on your new job. Please do not forget about us little people when you become GM of an NBA team, GBR. And Jillian from women's basketball texted me and said, thank you, Andrew, for all of your support of Nebraska athletics and women's basketball. We appreciate your dedication and wish you the best of luck as you take on your next chapter.
Thank you so much, Jillian. I appreciate it. And also, thank you so much, Art. The goal is to be a GM for an NBA team. That is a dream that I'm going, and I'm going to keep trying to pursue it. So thank you guys so much for the love. We also had another text from Dennis for Jessica. He said, more and more women are doing sporting events broadcasts. Jessica, if you had a chance to do a baseball game, would you do it?
I probably would. I would say no.
What team in the MLB would you pick? And what would you like to do?
Well, I'm not a major league. I don't have a major league baseball team.
What would you like to
I think
do?
I'd be for any and every opportunity. I think it'd be awesome. But I mean, I love baseball. So yeah, I mean, it is. It's awesome. More women and more women are calling play-by-play for baseball. So I think it's awesome. Okay, I told you to prepare for this, so I got a couple questions for you. We'll see if we can get to both of them. The favorite game. Give us your top 3 games that you produced. You produced a lot of football games, men's basketball games. Top 3, 3-1.
3-1. My third, I'm going to go the Creighton game. That was so much fun. That was so electric to be a part of. That would be my third game. There's so many good games that I call. I was broadcasting with KP and Jake and Greg and you guys in football.
A lot of people don't know the shenanigans that take place during commercial breaks.
Yes.
Especially when, like, Damon came on.
Oh, man. The UNC Duke stuff, that was button heads from the get-go. He's having the cough drops and saying, do you need any candy? So it's just funny. It's crazy.
No, okay, so what's number one then? If Creighton's up there, what's number one?
Number one, the Iowa game that we beat them at their place.
Football.
It was so much fun in football. It was so much fun to be a part of that. We got the Heroes Trophy back here. And what I accomplished that day was insane, just with how many broadcasts we did. I had to do the entire football broadcast on my own, the board, the live reads, cutting the highlights. I've never done anything like that before. Usually football games are a whole man broadcast and everything's going, but I almost had everything on my back on that game, and I was so happy that I didn't mess up, and I went straight from the top to the bottom, and that was my favorite game, and I was so proud of what I accomplished that day.
Listen, we're running out of time here, so I need you to keep this a little bit quicker, but what's it like working with Kent and Jake? That's what everybody wants to know.
Oh, my God. The two funniest guys working, and I wish I could, just the commercial breaks, these two butt heads so much, but it's so much fun, and there's so much action and so much liveliness that, I mean, we could be down so much, but they have such a good energy and mentality that doesn't matter. They still have fun, and they still support these boys, and that's all that matters on it.
All right, and quickly, your favorite interview, I guess if you have three, if you can't narrow it down to one, your favorite interviews over the last 2 years.
So one of my favorite interviews that we actually did was when you interviewed Bryce and Trey right when they got here.
Yeah.
That was one of my first favorite interviews with the hype going with that. It was so much fun.
Okay, so that's the favorite?
Yeah, favorite.
All right, there you have it. We got to get another break in. Boy, this 2 hours has flown by, but final break here, final segment coming up, and the last ever segment with Andrew Dowdy here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student-athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student-athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra. The perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Haiby Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Haiby stores, where right now kids can eat free.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final segment here on our final Sports Nightly of the week, as we've got a full slate of Husker baseball, Husker softball, Husker hoops headed your way this weekend. And the final show for one Andrew Dowdy, who's been a producer for us since we've brought this thing in-house here in the studio. He's started right when I started, so we kind of were brought on at the same time. But you're getting so much love, of course, from the OGs in the chat, Crypto King, Children of the Corn, Andy Harris, those guys giving you a lot of love. A lot of love on the chat, the text line as well. So you're going to be missed, but I know, again, big opportunity for you, and you will always bleed Husker Red.
Exactly. I said that's something that I will always be true to. The N represents so much things that are bigger than sports and everything. It's a whole community and a whole network here that I just love. But I want to go and start by giving my shout-outs to Jessica Coody. She was someone that really brought me in, and when I didn't really know what to do, I was a little discouraged coming here, kind of seeing that I was kind of the main guy being here, and she always continued to bring me up and supported me in so many ways that I cannot support her back. It's just crazy. She's always got me from the first day that I've been here.
You watch my dog.
I watch her dog 24/7, and we have each other's back forever, and we'll always, her fam is pretty much my fam, and we always will be connected for that. I want to give a shout out to Greg for always being the man he is, the voice of the Huskers. I've been listening to him since I've been a kid. I mean, that's crazy to think that I'm the one producing the football games, and that was such a dream come true to do that. So Greg was so amazing to work with. Ben, Matt Coatney, everybody, those guys were so amazing to work with. KP and Jake, wow, I could keep going on. Those guys were amazing. I want to give a shout out to my producers that helped me from the first day, Cole Hartman and Tim Mohop. They really helped bring this whole network up. We were whole out of house. They had a lot of producers at the old house, out of department, but we brought it in. We didn't have as many producers, but we brought this from the top up, and I can't give enough thanks to Cole, who's now a full-time head producer, as he was an intern and as a student here, helping us, busting his butt here, and same with Tim. We just worked it out, and it was so amazing. I want to also give a shout-out to Brandon Meyer. He was someone who knew I was going to be a hard worker from the day that I got here, and he didn't have to hire a guy who was just straight out of college and didn't have the greatest experience, but I knew I would come in here, I would work, and I would give everything that I had. I knew I was a good communicator. I was a good worker, so he was so helpful and just really took me under my wing. And I want to also give one of my biggest shout-outs to Mike Elliott, who is our Director of Broadcasting Operations. He was the one who knew that I worked hard. He was the one that I reached out multiple times, multiple years throughout this, that I would be a good worker for him. And he put all his marbles on the table for me, so I cannot thank him enough. I want to give him one of my biggest shout-outs. So thank you, Mike Elliott, and to your wife, Rosie. Thank you guys so much for what you've done for me, and I can't appreciate it. Jess, thank you guys, everyone. Thank you, Husker Nation. I love you guys forever. Appreciate it.
There you have it. Andrew Dowdy signing off from the Huskers Radio Network, but I'm sure we have not heard or seen the last of him. We appreciate all that you've done to help us get this thing off the ground and everything that you've done to help this thing keep going over the last couple of years. It's been a fun 2 hours. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks to everybody that's been a part. Sam and Emma, Cole back there producing, and all the guys, Greg, Matt, Nate, and Kent, who joined us here. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Have a great weekend of Husker Sports. Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS.
Nebraska Innovation Campus creates partnerships between business and the University of Nebraska. Partners lease office space, laboratories, pilot plants, and greenhouses, all centrally located with easy access to University of Nebraska talent and resources. Nebraska Innovation Campus, creating spaces and culture that inspire. Learn more at innovate.unl.edu.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Josh Ahrens in Kearney, Scott Vermas in La Vista, or Dennis Malloy in Bellevue today.
Shop Woodhouse Hyundai for your next vehicle and enjoy a buying experience that's tailored to you. Whether shopping online or from our showroom, our team will provide a seamless transaction and get you behind the wheel of your new 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe with ease. Plus, we'll even deliver it to you anywhere. And when you shop Woodhouse Hyundai, you can rest easy with Hyundai Shopper Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Start shopping today at WoodhouseHyundaiofOmaha.com.